Hey everybody, it's me Philip, and today I'm having a Q&A session with two very special guests. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, please introduce yourselves.
Hey guys, I'm Sonic Ether, Cody Dar, whatever you want to call me. I don't care. Just don't call me Sonic the Hedgehog. And and yeah, I'm the creator of Sonic Ether's Unbelievable Shaders. Yeah.
Hi, I'm SirCrest. I make videos.
Not the toothpaste, right?
No, but thankfully not many people have made that confusion. So
well, sorry I brought that up.
Pretty clean.
All
no,
right.
it's okay. I haven't heard it in a while.
Okay, well, so the way we thought we're gonna do is first we're gonna do some general questions, then I'll read some stuff you guys have been posting on Reddit, some community questions. So I hope your questions get answered. If not, then at least you enjoyed the video, okay? So yeah, let's jump right into it. So the first question is, what's the story behind your nickname?
Well, I was like 16. My main thing was producing music, EDM, electronic dance music, and I needed an alias for it, and I came up with Sonic Ether, which basically, you know, if you break down the meaning, it basically means like heavenly sound or sound of heaven. And it's just kind of something I kind of stuck with over the years and couldn't really think of anything better, so that's where that came from. Yeah. And
you don't like, because what you told me that you don't like when people refer to you as Sonic the Hedgehog, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like it almost makes me wish I had rethought it or considered that a little more. I don't know. Not that I hate Sonic the Hedgehog, but I just like, I don't know. I feel like people may see me as like a crazy Sonic the Hedgehog fan who like just really wants to be Sonic the Hedgehog and like, oh, I'm gonna name myself Sonic. You know, like that's totally not what it's based on. It's just like the word Sonic. You know. But
how did you get into coding, and anything that helped you get started?
Honestly, it was totally not entirely intentional. It was not like I wasn't, you know, sitting around thinking I really want to be a programmer. I actually never really imagined myself enjoying it even. But I just kind of started with really small projects that required like, I mean, just very, very simple programming. I started out with back in like, I don't know, 2005, 2006, Winamp had like a programmable visualization software, I guess, and that was like my first experience with programming. And it was, you know, very, very simple, and I just did it for fun. And really the next like serious programming I did a little bit of Elder Scrolls, like what, 4 Oblivion and 5, or no 3 Morrowind and 4 Oblivion, like scripting, you know, with that modding, and then really just the shaders mod after that. That was my first like serious project, and I didn't really expect it or intend on it growing to the point that it has. Really, it was just, I didn't even want to share it really even. It was just a personal thing I wanted to try out, and a lot of Googling things I didn't know, and a lot of experimentation, and but the thing that really helped me the most was just being interested in the project and being able to modify something and get a result like right away, and just experiment in that regard. I had a lot of free time.
All right. Well, you did. Sorry.
There was actually a last part to that question. What languages do you work with?
Oh, okay. So now my go-to for like other projects besides the shader mod is C#. That's probably my favorite right now. GLSL obviously is another main one that I do, you know, shaders mod, and then Java is something I learned for the actual shaders mod itself. I'm sorry, I'm probably being a little confusing calling it the shaders mod. I'm just referring to my shaders specifically. But yeah, Java as well, and let's see, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But I mostly just work with GLSL and C#, and a bit of a CG and HLSL for like DirectX shaders. So,
what inspired you to make your own shader mod?
You know, I have always been interested in graphics, interactive real-time graphics in video games. I mean, you know, I grew up playing video games basically my whole life, and I've always been somewhat like a visual artist growing up, and that for me has always been a fascinating medium of art, really, because it's, you know, if you've got a game that can tell any sort of story or give you any sort of interactive experience, it needs to have a visual presentation, and I've always found that fascinating. And even before I got into programming shaders, I was always like up on the jargon of it, and like, you know, like bump mapping and like normal mapping and shadow mapping, things like that. It was always something I was aware of and interested in. And then like messing around with the ENB series, that was one of my big inspirations for that. And for the shaders mod, like specifically, it was actually SirCrest's CinemaCraft videos. And I mean, those were like really just like tantalizing. Like, it was like a foreshadowing of what Minecraft could be with some more interesting shaders and post-processing. And but, you know, honestly, Dax Nitro really is the one who made it happen. I came along and modified it for a while, and over a couple of years have become independent with it. And now, you know, obviously it's all my code now, but, you know, so you know, a lot of things have kind of contributed to that. So,
but yeah, Minecraft cinematics, CinemaCraft, yeah, sorry, Minecraft CinemaCraft was actually just post-processing, right? You didn't use any shaders at all back then. It just there was the waving, sorry.
Up until the third one. The third one was just depth of field and waving grass.
Yeah.
There was no actual post-processing, like...
Well, just color correction?
Depth of field counts, yeah, but basically it looked vanilla. It was just the depth of field and waving grass. But before then, it was just texture packs and everything else in post. I mean, when you look back on it, it was just purely experiments. So, I'm not too proud of them.
Oh, come on, don't say that. You inspired Cody, come on. It's great.
So, Sonic, seeing how popular your mod has become, what has that changed in your life, and how did it feel when your shaders started going viral?
Well, it was really exciting. It was surreal when they started, like, gaining popularity. The first surge of popularity I got was from Captain Sparkles on YouTube. He did a video, if I'm not mistaken, like the day it came out, I think. The day I first released it. I mean, I messaged Dax Nitro. I mentioned I had, you know, modified some shaders and wanted to post it on my own thread and upload it and share it, and he was like, okay, cool. And then I did that, and people are just really excited about it, and it kind of just, yeah. And that was really exciting for me, because again, I didn't really, it's not like I sat down and I was like, I want to make something that goes viral. like, what can I do? And then I thought of the shaders mod, like, you know. So it was just like a fun hobby for me that other people enjoyed as well. But it's been a little, like, I don't know, stressful at times. I feel pressure with it at times because, you know, I feel obligated to do a good job. I feel obligated to, you know, please everyone with it. You know, I do get bad feedback, and you know, it can be frustrating a little bit sometimes. But overall, it's been a really positive experience, though. So, yeah.
But there are no people looking through your window, right?
No. No, I mean, I don't really experience the quote-unquote fame on a personal level. I don't, like, when I tell people about it, they usually have no idea. They've never heard of it. So on a like a interaction with people IRL type of thing, I don't, like, nothing has changed in that regard, but
it's just
really
numbers.
just online. It's just my experience online, really. So,
well, the internet makes the world very small, so I guess that
It does.
explains that.
Okay. So, has anyone ever tried to hire you because of your work on ZEUS? Or
yeah,
ZEUS?
I've got some I've had some people contact me with wanting to work, you know, or inviting me to work on their game development projects, and one of which invitations was somewhat accepted and still kind of in the works right now. You know, I can't really say too much about it, but yeah, so I have, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna say.
Well, actually, on that, is that something you want to do, or was it just because it was kind of a new thing? The interest was because it was different. Like, you're getting hired because was it because they had seen your work for the shaders?
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
Did you really have interest in it, or was it just because it was kind of out of the blue, and you were curious?
You know, I just saw it as a good opportunity, really, to, like, work with a team that knows what they're doing and has made games before, and I thought it would be a really good, like, experience as far as, I mean, I know that my career is going to take me somehow down the path of game development in some regard, whether I stick to graphics or, you know, some other, like, form of programming, which I'm getting more and more into as time goes by. But yeah, it is something I want to do for sure. I'm still a little unsure about the specifics of how I want things to turn out, and I've got, like, you know, I have several, like, plans in my mind that are just kind of possibilities. You know, it's not like the opportunity necessarily that I was waiting for, and then just, like, this is what I'm going after. I'm still, you know, figuring things out for the future, but
Okay. Besides your shaders, what are some other projects that you're working on?
I am started a game, developing a game, I don't know, about a year ago. It's a racing game. It's been sort of on my mind for a couple years. I decided to pick up Unity 3D and learn the ins and outs of that, and a lot of time a year ago was spent learning how to program outside of just a graphics context. And I sort of took a break from that. Life got busy, as it does sometimes, and I've lately picked back up on that. And you know, as soon as there's something for me to share, you know, screenshots, videos, whatever, you know, I'm definitely eager to do that. It's still really, really rough, like proof of concept prototype stuff right now. So, yeah.
So, what does your family think of it? You coding the shaders? Do they understand what you're doing at all?
Yeah, I would say they definitely do. I mean, they've been nothing but supportive, and you know, like growing up, I've always been like really interested in computers, and you know, my whole life is Windows basically, and it has been for a long time. And like if you don't like Windows, you don't like me. So, but it, you know, I never really spent too much of my time just like playing video games or just browsing the internet. I was always doing things like 3D modeling or texturing or making music or things like that. And my mom always knew that that was a passion of mine that could turn into a career someday. And so she's really enabled me to pursue my passions in that regard. And I guess this is sort of the result of it. And I mean, she's really thrilled about it. I tell her about any sort of like I don't know, publications about my mod, you know, on like IGN or Joystick or Kotaku or anything like that. So yeah, it's great. So yeah.
I can already imagine all the Mac users closing down the video.
Yeah. Wow.
With all the work that you've done on Minecraft, what is your actual opinion of it, though?
I wish that I could forget about Minecraft entirely and rediscover it again, because discovering Minecraft for the first time was the most fun, the most exciting moment discovering a new game that I've ever had in my life, like by far. I was so obsessed with it. There's something about Minecraft, the gameplay, that just really is so satisfying for me as a gamer, my needs as a gamer, my personality type, the things that I enjoy in games, and I still love it just as much as I did, but discovering new things about it was really the best part about it for me. And you know, it's always a new experience, more or less. You know, when you can generate a new world, and you know, it's Minecraft is
I'm starting to tear up, man.
Somewhat endless. Yeah, so I love Minecraft. It's just like, it would be really hard for me to make a list of like favorite games of all times. Yeah, exactly. Like best games of all time, but that would for sure like be on the list. I don't know where though, but
I think it's tricky, because if you ask a lot of people who are just regular people who have played it, they probably wouldn't consider it one of the best games ever. I mean, it has a lot of problems, did a lot of things pretty good, but what Minecraft did was it fit a niche that a lot of people really were looking for. They were looking for a game that Minecraft was.
They didn't know they were looking for it until it hit them.
Exactly. I tried 3 different sentences and I wasn't able to say that. And but it has a lot of problems, and I think a lot of people recognize that. But it certainly it did what a lot of games have been trying to do for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Special in that regard.
Have you ever gotten to a point where you're sick of Minecraft? Oh my god, I said it.
No, not really. I mean, there are some times where I don't really feel like playing it, but I don't really ever get sick of it. But I don't think I play it enough to get sick of it, you know. But yeah, there are times I lose interest in it. I want to, you know, play something else, and just kind of not experience it for a while, so that when I come back to it, it can be more exciting. But you know, I wouldn't say I ever get sick of it.
I think I can speak for Crest and myself that it's already passed a long time since I played it for fun.
personal reasons, yeah. Because a lot of times when I get into it, it's, well, I have to figure out something to do a video with it or something, or I'm spending a lot of my time just modding.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a long time since I've opened it up and just felt like, you know what, I just wanna play it. But I think a lot of that is just through so much. The community, in some ways, has tarnished that appeal for me. Like, I don't know the way it is for you, but I've gotten caught up too much in the drama of the game to enjoy it for what it is. And then okay. What is one thing about Minecraft that you really dislike?
Okay. You know, I wouldn't say it has, like, there are things I dislike about it, but there are things that have happened to me while I'm playing that I really dislike, that I understand and I accept, but in the moment are incredibly frustrating. I mean, creepers are obviously, you know, everyone's pissed when a creeper blows up something they've been building, but for me, that's a part of Minecraft. It's exciting, you know, yeah. For me, honestly, and but something that I've hated when it happens, and it's happened several times, and you'd think I'd learn, would be when you're mining around and there's lots of like lava lakes around. You're like, all right, I'm being safe. I have my bucket of water, and I just plop it down, you know, obsidian, you know, and then like you've got that sort of barrier where the water stopped flowing and there's just lava ahead. And if you accidentally fall in that lava, the way that the water's flowing disables you from being able to jump back up. And so, like, the water ends up being what kills you, and you lose everything, and it's horrible. So, but, you know, again, I understand it. Like, I get really mad for a second, and I'm like, that's Minecraft, what do you do, you know? Like, then I keep playing it, then I do it again. So.
Well, I can't think of anything right now, so maybe Brent has some thoughts of that.
I don't know. I think a lot of what I dislike about Minecraft is just general, you know, what I do with it, which is just videos and things. I'd like to see more inbuilt controls for controlling things like the time and you know, the camera, which is just your player view. I'd like to see more inbuilt controls like that instead of having to go out to the community to find what I think should be a lot of simple things. But it probably, if there was one thing about Minecraft, regardless of other stuff, it's probably still the terrain generation. Amplified is awesome, but beta was really special. Like, a lot of my maps were in beta, and a lot of people still tell me, how did you get that? Even though they don't look at the video date, they still ask me, how did you generate that? And it's, well, it was just...
I can agree. I have your
beta.
maps. I have your maps downloaded. They're awesome.
He has a map from 2011.
Yeah.
That
it's amazing.
I don't even have anymore.
I'll include in the description so you can check it out, because that's how the terrain should look like, in our opinion.
And the terrain was a big inspiration for sometimes. I would see some sort of structure, and I could just think about what type of music and animation would go with it. I mean, granted, a lot of my stuff is pretty simple, but it feels lifeless.
Yeah.
I do still like the what is it called? Extreme Hills. I do the Extreme Hills biome brings some of that back for me. Some of that old charm, but I do agree with you for the most part. That could have been why I feel like maybe I enjoyed Minecraft so much more when I first discovered it, because it was, the beta generation, terrain generation. So
basically, fuck the jungle biome.
Exactly. I'm so happy they made that rare. I'm so happy. I haven't run into one in so long, and I'm thrilled.
Actually, there was something else I wanted to speak about with that, because with the terrain generation, This is coming from someone who's simply a player and just flies around finding neat stuff. But with the new type of biome systems, it's like if you want a different type of generation, it's like there's a biome for that. If you want this type of generation, there's a biome for that. But in beta, you could generate one map. It's, you know, it was kind of like one biome type in a way. But then as you played it, that same biome could have many different varieties to it. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like, oh, this is a desert, so it's going to look like every other desert. It's a jungle, it's going to look like every other jungle. But there was something about, I guess, I don't know, I wouldn't say just beta, because beta had a lot of changes to it, but something about in beta felt like there was character to each map. It wasn't just, you know, there needs to be X amount of hills in this biome. There needs to be X amount of, Y amount of, you know, sand dunes or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I have hugely thick rose-tinted goggles on, rose-tinted glasses. I don't know, there's something interesting about it. It wasn't just kind of checkbox type stuff. But that's from a player's perspective.
All right. What do you think of the YouTube community that produces tons of videos with your shaders? Do you watch any on a regular basis? Maybe some channels? Except for SirCrest, I mean.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course I watch his. But I don't search for it. I don't, you know, I don't sit around like, I feel like that would be, I don't know,
Waste of time.
Slightly egotistical. I don't know. Like, oh, let me just see what people can like made with what I made.
Oh
like,
God, it's
but
I did this.
I did this. But you know, I'll watch like videos that my friends link me, or you know, if someone will post one on my Facebook, I'll watch it. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of them out there now, and it's fun for me. But I will come across one where they've got like one setting wrong, and it's like ruining the whole thing. Like the old lighting setting that's in the shaders mod now, where basically when I sort of got more in depth with the actual shaders mod, I found the bit of code in Minecraft's code that basically in default Minecraft, I don't know if any of you guys have noticed out there, but the brightness of each face of the blocks is different. So the top block is like multiplied by 1, and then like the sides, 2 sides are times 0.8, 2 sides are times 0.6, and the bottom's like 0.4 or something. So it's like a, you know, pseudo-directional lighting that was throwing off my lighting calculations. So I removed that basically so that I could have full control over the lighting. And Karyonics recently added an option, and I understand why, in the shaders mod to basically it's like old lighting, and it re-enables that shading. And I saw a video recently with that enabled with my shaders, and it was, I don't know, it irked me a little bit, because it's like, this could look so much better, but there was that one setting that was, you know, or like when people turn off smooth lighting and, you know, you got those blocky like lighting transitions, whatever, I don't know. So maybe that's one reason why I don't look at them, because I'm like, oh, and then all I see is my own flaws too, like in my shaders, like, oh, there's a bug and there's something I don't like, and yeah, so it can be a frustrating experience for me.
Okay. Oh well. At least SirCrest videos don't look like that.
They
right?
take time.
Yeah.
You cannot substitute time. Is that the right phrase? No, it's not.
Man, you're the American speaking guy, English speaking guy. Don't ask me.
One of those. I can't speak. In the future, do you ever think that you might host a panel at Minecon?
I would love that, but I don't know how that would happen. I mean, if it's not going to be the US, again, obviously that's going to make it really difficult for me. You know, I'm not rich, So and
No, you're
traveling
not
out of the
rich.
country.
How's that?
I'm not rich, and
don't
traveling out
believe
of the
popular.
country is. And yeah, so I mean, I would really love to. I would really love to, but you know, don't know if it'll ever happen. And you know, I'm not really sure what I would talk about in the panel. Like, hey guys, I made this. Look at it, and everyone, I don't know. But I am doing a panel at Phoenix Comic Con actually, in June. So I guess I'm gonna get a taste of what that's gonna be like. So, and I've never done anything like it, so we'll see how that goes. And if anyone is there, if anyone out there is going to Phoenix Comic Con, you should look for my panel. It'll be on Saturday. I'm not sure the exact date. It's the second weekend of June. If you're going to Comic Con, you'll know what day that is. Yeah, check it out. And that would be cool to meet you guys. But I don't know. I highly doubt anyone, you know, like is in Mesa, Arizona, or Phoenix, Arizona, or you know.
Population 1? Is that what you mean?
Well, just yeah. I don't know. World's a big place. The internet makes it seem smaller.
Either.
Yeah. I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know what to talk about?
Yeah, I suppose.
Come on.
I wonder if part of it is that, I mean, just like in this interview, there's only so many questions you can answer. You kind of, or you just have to start talking about kind of whatever comes to mind. I think it would be interesting if you were on a panel of perhaps graphical developers for Minecraft.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, not necessarily developers at Mojang. I'm calling it Mojang. Okay. But like modders that do lots of different graphical mods. Not necessarily other shader developers, because that will turn into a cage fight. But other developers who develop mods that you might be able to give input on, because each of them, you know, like I wouldn't say texture developers, because that's not quite the same, but it would be interesting if you were part of a panel and that type of discussion came into play about each of your areas of expertise. That's my thought on it.
Yeah, let's move on to the next question, which is, what is one feature of your shader pack that has taken up huge amounts of time, but you dropped development for? Will you ever bring it back?
I feel like that's probably a reference to volumetric clouds. If it wasn't intentional, that's the way that's the vibes I got. Yeah, volumetric clouds is the first thing that comes to mind. It was really just a learning experiment, and it ended up not really being a good choice overall. I thought that I would be able to optimize it a little more than I was able to.
No.
No,
I
let's
wanna
just
keep
do
going.
cuts.
Here's what you can do to make it funny. Cut it right after we hear it, and we're all smiling, and then just continue with where we were.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Cool.
do you remember
So
where
what was
you...
it saying? Volumetric clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You thought you can optimize it, did you? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. So there. Yeah, I thought I could optimize them more than I was able to, and you know, when you've got an effect that you only see when you're outside looking up, taking up like a large amount of processing, is it really worth it? You know, that's a decision I had to make, and essentially I had to decide to go with something that was more performance friendly, which is the 2D procedural clouds, which in my honest opinion, I think they look better because they're not low resolution. You can't fly through them, but you know, what are you gonna do? So
I think these type of clouds have a very high, like, visual
Atmospheric?
benefit to performance ratio.
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
they add a huge amount of realism to the world because they look like an actual kind of clouds. I mean, the clouds before were cumulus. Is that
Yeah.
right? But but because of the low resolution and the averaging you had to do, they kind of, that bothered a lot of people. Like, why is it blurry? Well, because he wants your frame rate to be over 5.
Yeah.
So that type of priority as far as performance, I think ended up with a really good result.
Yeah.
Thanks, I think so
But it
too.
did the over, down, up sampling thing, right?
Yeah. Basically, it was for anyone out there confused as to why A, it looked really pixelated, or B, it looked really blurry. Initially, my technique for optimization, and this is a common technique in graphics programming, is to randomize your depth sample per pixel in an area of like a 4x4 ordered dither pattern. And then a pass after that, combine the 4x4 area of pixels into a continuous field of samples. So effectively you're getting, 16 times more samples for the same cost, but the drawback is that it's blurry and looks low resolution. And that kind of gave like a bit of like a superimposed feel to it as well that I didn't particularly like, so.
But that was because that averaging or that blurring was applied to whatever the clouds were in front of, right? So if the cloud was behind a tree, kind of the averaging pass caused the actual land at times in buildings to look blurry?
I found a way to pretty much eliminate that if you're under the cloud layer. So it basically looked seamless, the averaging. But if you were above the cloud layer or seeing something through the clouds, like something where the clouds are partially covering something, but it was still partially transparent, and anything behind that would have been blurry. So, yeah. So it caused a lot of problems, and it was really, even with those optimizations, which were a bit of a stretch, it was too slow, ultimately, to keep. And will I ever re-implement it? I don't know. I mean, we'll see what the future holds. I still don't know how high-end modern graphics cards handle that effect, because I don't have a high-end modern graphics card myself. I'm running a GTX 560 Ti, which is refurbished and dying horribly. And fun fact, sometimes my graphics card will refuse to like go into 3D clock speeds, so I'll get like 10 FPS in any 3D game ever, and I either have to restart, which takes a while, or what I prefer to do is write an infinite loop in my shaders that crashes the driver and forces it to like, it's basically like defibrillation, like clear, and then like, and then it fucking starts working again. But yeah, so yeah,
That should become an official feature, actually.
Yeah. So, if I get a better graphics card in the future, we'll see. I'll do some experiments on that. So
get those ad clicks working. Don't click bomb. It's very bad. During your development, what was your biggest breakthrough?
Global illumination. Totally easy. Really?
The holy grail.
The holy grail of real-time lighting. I was dumbfounded for like a week after, like, I felt like I was dreaming, like, I was gonna wake up and it was all just a dream, like the dreams I used to have when I was a little boy before the Game Boy Advance came out, and I used to have a dream that I had the Game Boy Advance and I thought it was real life, and then I woke up and I didn't have it. Like, I felt like it was gonna be like that, but no, it was one of the coolest moments of my life. Like, seriously, one of the best moments, one of the best days of my life was if not the best. Like, it was just so great. It's the kind of breakthrough that any programmer in any field, I think, hopes to have at least once in their lifetime, and it was just incredibly exciting. And I've been, I haven't really shown a lot of it, and I haven't included it in the shaders yet because I'm just kind of a little protective of it. It's a completely new, fast, fully dynamic global illumination algorithm, And, you know, when you share a shader pack, all that stuff isn't, you know, it's not like I don't have a license to protect myself, but
people don't.
It's just been a little, yeah, exactly. It's been a little, I don't know, bittersweet because I've, you know, that's something I've been wanting in the shaders or in any shaders, whether I made it or not, in Minecraft for a long time. You know, how amazing would it be to see your creations rendered at you know, with global illumination that would make it seem that much more real, make the experience much more visually immersive, let alone the fact that I actually was the one who came up with that. So that was crazy for me. But and I'm going to eventually get over it and include it in SEUS because it's just too amazing not to share. So but there are a couple issues with it right now that I'm working out, but I feel more confident about this than I did about the volumetric clouds. So
all right, well, yeah. Did you, in your moments of happiness, did you call anyone like, Mom, oh my god?
Yeah, I did. I
global illuminations.
Yeah, I did. I was like, oh my god, Mom, global illumination. She was like, honey, what is that? Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. She's used to that.
Is that new form of global warming?
Yeah, I know, right? And I told all my roommates, and like one of my roommates was here actually when it happened. When I wrote down the bit of code that would definitively, basically like tell me whether it was going to work or not, and I went to the shaders menu and I reselected the shaders, which recompiles it, and I went out of the pause screen and I saw what I wanted to see, and I like had a like meltdown. Like I was crying, I was shaking, I was like, it was crazy. It was, I mean, tears of joy, of course, but it was, well, if that doesn't indicate how passionate I am about programming, then, you know, I don't know what would, but
do it for everyone, right?
Yes.
Celebrating.
Yes.
So you did celebrate it like big time.
Oh yes. Yeah, definitely.
1999.
Yes.
Next question. What is the biggest misconception people have about you?
Maybe that I have a super beast computer and am rich, maybe, or wealthy, or perhaps that I am not concerned with the performance of my mod. I'm very, very concerned about that. It's my top priority besides image quality is how well it renders. The fact that I had to drop volumetric clouds should be a testament to that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are many, many misconceptions about me out there because honestly, I haven't really revealed myself too much. This is like the most that people are getting to experience me as far as like a real person who talks and has a face, and you know, but I'd say those are probably like the biggest misconceptions.
So you don't like the people that use adblock? Download your shaders?
Whatever, they, you know, do what they want, but you know, I don't feel like I need to explain why I feel like, you know, putting in 12 hours a day, you know, sometimes 7 days a week deserves a little bit of, you know, deserving a little bit out of that. And I do not make a lot from it at all. Like, that's probably a misconception out there as well. Like, oh, dude, you must make like $1 million.
No, I download your mods like 2 times a day. I clicked on the AdSense.
Like, it's not much. Let me tell you this. I was below the threshold at which you need to file taxes in the United States.
Same here.
So I literally like I'm way below poverty level, but you know, so that's perhaps another misconception.
I'll Google later what that means, because after all, I don't live in the US. I don't think we have that.
Basically, like below a point, you don't have to pay income taxes. It's not like just, you know, above a certain limit, you pay it constantly. You know, more and more and more of what you make. But if it's below a certain point, you pay nothing on that.
Oh, right. Okay.
There's different details to that, and I'm sure. I'm sure there are some lawyers watching for some reason. who will clarify that, but that's the general idea. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, never mind that. We're through with the, I guess you could call them general questions. So we're already at 1 hour, I think. So yeah, we can split the whole thing here. So yeah, next video is going to be community questions. So if you would like to see that one, then stick around. I'll link the whole thing for the second part in the description or in the end of the video. For now, yeah, thanks for watching this part. See you in the next thing. Right? Fuck. Yeah. No. Never mind. I was about to talk German. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fine. Just cut it when we're all waving.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that'd be good.
Yep.
All right. Okay.